Watching this, you are certainly in the right place. We are here today at KRP Properties, which is so much more than space, and a keen supporter of Techopia Live. Now, as you already know, here on Techopia Live, what we do is we tell you what's happening within the tech industry. And if you have not done so already, you need to go to techopia.ca to find out about all the updated news on tech. Now, today, we are going to talk about a company that I know the government of Canada has already invested it quite a bit, and it is Crypto4A. Well, Bruno Couillard, thank you so much for joining us today, the president and CEO of this amazing company. You have done such amazing things, and you are once again just jumping into the world of cybersecurity. Now, we hear that term so frequently, and we know it's getting more and more important. Now, let's talk about Crypto4A. I know you got funding recently to help push you forward. What I'd like to know is, and I know our viewers also want to know, what's happened with the funding that you recently received, and what's next for Crypto4A?
Thank you for having me on the show. So we received this funding so that we could push forward our company and our idea. Being in the cybersecurity space, as you said, there's quite a plethora of companies that are vying for the same sort of attention. And you need to distinguish yourself. You need to have concrete evidence that you're bringing something new to the show. We're a fairly interesting company in the sense that we bring a hardware-based security process or security construct to help cyber secure a whole lot of different applications. And that's making it a challenge for companies to vie for attention. So this effort, this money that we received is definitely going to help us promoting ourselves forward in that sense.
Now, cryptography, I'd love you to explain to us, because I know it's not a common term that we use all the time. We've heard of it, we have some vague understanding, but maybe you can share how this actually helps in fending off cyber attacks.
Cryptography per se is a foundational element to building construct and products that are going to be relied upon to enforce proper architectures of networks and so on. Typically, you use cryptography to secure things that you prefer not to have disclosed, like a confidentiality kind of things, or sometimes you'll use cryptography to ensure that if I deliver you some code for an update to your car, you want to make sure the code came from me. So there's an integrity of that transaction. And cybersecurity is a very wide field of techniques and tools that you use, and cryptography is pervasive across many of these tools. You need that capability to deliver a secure and consistent and assured level of cryptography in order to build cybersecurity foundations. So that's, in a nutshell, what cryptography brings to cybersecurity. It's really the foundational block that you can use to build cybersecurity products.
Now, there is a lot of applications for cryptography, as you just said, and of course, what Crypto4A provides. What I'd love you to share with us a little bit, you've collaborated with local firms like SenGen and also Blueink. Maybe you can share with us a little bit what that collaboration looks like and how you are supporting these companies.
Absolutely. Yes. So what we're taking to the market is what we refer to as a next generation hardware security modules that give us a platform upon which you can deploy a variety of applications. Both in the case of Blueink and other partners we're working with, and SenGen is a different one, but the Blueink concept, for example, is we're bringing to them the capability to deploy their capabilities, their software, their applications in a secure environment. Today, many applications that you use have to be built in data centers that are secure, that have locked doors, that have people that you trust to maintain those applications. But if you're going to try and do that and replicate the same concepts across a multitude of environments, you're going to find it costly. You're going to find it hard to convince partners to buy these sort of services. What we're doing is we're basically wrapping these applications in a very secure shell sometimes I refer to it as a mini data center in a box, where we're able to pack all the security that you would find in a normal data center in a single appliance. And with Blue Ink, we're able to give them that construct or that structural element that allows them to deploy in multiple places with the cryptography, the security, and the ability to really deploy at large. In the case of SendGen, we need to test our machines to provide our customers and partners a validation that we're able to perform at network speeds. SendGen has got a great test bed for us, and we've been using their test bed to deploy our platforms inside their environment so that we can test that, yes, it can be bombarded by hundreds of these calls or thousands of machines calling into them, and we can resist, or we can actually perform the task and so on. So it's really a performance play, and working with SendGen has been awesome in the sense that it gives us a tool that we would ourselves as a startup couldn't afford at this scale, at this stage. So that's really helpful.
And it's wonderful to see that, you know, they have unique applications for your platform, and they understand where they begin and where they end. And wonderful to see that you have been managing to put that together and create those relationships and help all these companies to just move forward. Now, we're sitting here, if you're watching this, we're here in Canada at KRP Properties, and as we already know, you say networks here, you say data here, you say something like quantum computing, you say something like the Internet of Things. It's pretty much that gets discussed on a frequent basis just over lunch. Now, it's something that I know we look to into the future more, and I want us to look a little bit further, specifically for Crypto4A, but also cryptography, and also how is the future going to rely on this type of support. Yes, you and I spoke about it's the Internet of Things. We all love our new watches. We all love the ability to connect with the Internet and be connected, but it's almost all the amount of data that we're sharing, all the faith that we have in the Internet of Things. And it's not so much just about the Internet of Things, but more so about the safety of things, and not so much just about the providers, as you said, but more so about the integrity of those providers. So maybe you can speak to that a little bit.
We believe as our society evolves really rapidly, as you mentioned, there's a desire for all of us to build or buy the next generations of things. Our cars are smart, our homes are getting smarter. Anything that we now think of has an element of software or smarts. And even a colleague of us at our office has a smart coffee cup. That's how pervasive the concept of smartness becomes. The interesting thing here is that as a society, we've used the internet early on. The first use of the internet was for digital economy. In the 1990s, when we started using the internet, it was all about, can I make some transactions and get the service selling, and now Amazon is showing that you can use it for logistics support and so on. And today in the internet is there's a fairly pervasive desire to make it secure from a confidentiality point of view or from a privacy point of view. GDPR in Europe is one of those examples. The internet has to make sure that your data is being secured properly. Our view is that in the very near future, we're going to start to depend on the internet, not just for confidentiality or privacy, but the integrity of our world, what surrounds us. I'd like to refer to it as more of our digitized society. And as such, we're going to start to depend on the elevators. We push the button. We want to know we're going to get to the right floor. The cars that are going to run automated around us, we want to know that the software in that car comes from the manufacturer. We'll need to depend on these machines and these things. And in a very succinct way, someone once described the difference between security and safety in a very simplistic fashion. They said, if you're a security practitioner and you think I need to secure a device, you're basically considering, how do I apply security to prevent a human to break the device? When you shift into the safety mode, you now have to go, how do I prevent a device to break humans or to kill humans? And safety concerns typically have to do with where was it built, and if it gets some software updates, are those from the right manufacturer? So you need to now think very strongly about integrity. So any IoT device, automated vehicles, anything that you can think of are going to become very soon a major concern. So while that's happening, we also have this other phenomena coming up, quantum computing. There's a lot of world out there, a whole number of companies, China, Google, IBM, Microsoft, all vying to be the number one at building the quantum computer. It will have very positive impacts to research, to medical research, and so on. But there are also subtle impact of what these types of machine can do. One of those is it renders inefficient any of this, well, some of the foundational cryptographic algorithms we use today for confidentiality reasons, for making sure we have our data is properly guarded, like all these confidentiality things, as well as the integrity of our things. So soon we're going to have to start building device early to be able to cross that passage of current to post-quantum environment. And that is a very, very, very complicated challenge. It's not a simple thing. We have to deal with cybersecurity, quantum computing. We have to start thinking in terms of shifting our minds to go, in addition to security, we have to start thinking safety. And at the same time that's all happening, we're also finding that it's hard to find good people. It's hard to find the practitioners to get into this field. So it's a fairly, it's a great challenge. It's an awesome, especially in Ottawa. Being an Ottawa-based company, you benefit from a very strong number. There's a lot of people that are security conscious or aware, but it is a challenge nonetheless. So we're hoping to make a dent and make a mark and start to shift into this next phase of growth that the internet is going to bring to us. And that's our goal.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of evolution on the horizon, but once again, you're a company that's evolving with the times. You're adjusting, and once again, we are in the hotbed, so to speak, of both cybersecurity, data networks in general, some phenomenal big names, and obviously some great collaborations as well between companies. So, Bruno, thank you so much for joining me today, CEO and President of Crypto4A. We look forward in hearing more about you. We are so proud to have you once again as part of the Ottawa ecosystem. And for those of you that's watching this, make sure that you join us each and every single week here on Techopia Live. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go to techopia.ca. We'll see you next time. Bye.